just landed your dream job in consulting. Congratulations! Here's 4 things they don't tell you before you start. Number 1 is the travel. Picture this. It's October 2017, it's my first day in Accenture, and I have heard loads about traveling consulting. So I'm getting all excited. Where am I going to be sent? Where will they post me to? Will I need my passport? No. Now, it's true that pre-pandemic consultants did a lot of travel, but most of that is actually domestic. I had these images of being jetted off in a plane somewhere every Monday morning, going somewhere exciting and exotic, and I actually was posted at various places up and down the M4 for my entire 4.5 years in Accenture. And even the clients that I'm in now, everything pretty much is domestic travel. So sure, there is loads of traveling in consulting, but it tends to be pretty domestic. And related to that is that it doesn't tend to be very glamorous. So when I said that with Accenture I was posted up and down the M4, the very first night I ever went away with Accenture was literally in a hotel next to the M4 service station. And that's pretty much where I stayed for the next 4 years. Sure, there is plenty of travel, but if you're expecting glamorous, exotic, high-end locations, you need to readjust your expectations now. That said, I have embraced the domestic travel. I don't care where I stay as long as it's got 4 walls and a clean bed. I am happy, very easily pleased, and I've learned to just embrace the domestic travel and everything that that brings. Sure, consulting travel really isn't as glamorous as you see it on Instagram, but I, for one, absolutely love it. And 5 years later, I love it just as much as I did on the first day. Thing number 2 of things they don't tell you: suitcase hacks. Now, if you haven't seen my travel vlog with all my consulting travel tips, then go and watch it over here. But of these, the number 1 biggest thing no one ever tells you that you definitely need to know is always have suitcase versions of the essentials. So I have a hairbrush, toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, deodorant that never, ever leaves this case. Then I can't forget it. Because I have been caught out so many times. In fact, even this week, I was caught out with not having packed enough underwear, which is both very inconvenient and far too much information. But you can minimize the risk of this happening to you if you always have your suitcase versions of the essentials. Number 3 is a bit more controversial. It's salaries. Now, there used to be a perception that consulting salaries were significantly higher than those of industry. And I think there was a time when this was true, but that time's not now. Through a combination of reasons, like the Great Resignation, the job market as it is right now, particularly in tech, salaries in industry are definitely rising to meet those in consulting. Now, I say this because, look, I personally find consulting a really rewarding career and I love it more than anything else I've done in my life. But it does come with long hours, with travel, time away from your friends, family, etc. You do have to sacrifice a fair bit for this career, in my opinion. And there was a time when the salaries substantially outweighed those of industry to make it kind of a no-brainer if you were somebody like me in their 20s with no reason not to just give it a go. But times are changing, so if the only reason you're in consulting is purely for the money, then you might want to reassess why you're here. Which brings me to number 4. Almost everyone I know, when they have joined consulting, has said, I'll do it for a couple of years and then I'm on do something else. Well, a lot of the people that I know have done way more than 2 years and have stuck around in this career much longer. If I had £1 for every person when they walk through the door of a consulting firm says I'm only going to be here couple of years, 3 years max, and is here 5, 10, 15 years later, I would retire, but would still probably be a consultant as well, actually, to be fair. Because the big thing no one ever tells you when you start in consulting is how much fun you're going to have, how much you are going to learn, and how it will shape your life forever. I honestly believe that once a consultant, always a consultant, because you might leave consulting, you might go to industry, you might do a startup, but all the things that you learn from your time will always stay with you. And ultimately, that's why I started this channel. I personally love consulting career. I recognize that it's really tough, but there is so much to be gained from it. So I hope these videos help people navigate their consulting careers to get the most out of it and have the most fun along the way. These are the 4 things that no one ever told me when I started in consulting. Maybe they haven't told you either. I hope you found this video useful. If you've been around in consulting and you want to share some things you wish you'd known at the start, then please drop them in the comments. Let's all learn from each other. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and we'll see you in the next one.